Vegas Weekly for Saturday, August the 1st, 2020. Congratulations, you've made it this far. Been a heck of a ride this year. And who knows what the months to come will bring, but we're going to keep talking about Vegas, and I hope that you'll continue to join us, as so many of you did this past Wednesday for our live stream. I've decided in the future the live stream is going to have a name. It's going to be known as Technical Difficulties. I like it, huh? Technical Difficulties. Again, I will continue the last Wednesday of every month, because there will be technical difficulties. And it was going so well for a while, and then there was some problems with the streaming software and some problems with my little wheel spinning device. But I appreciate those of you who hung around and jumped between a couple of different live streams. I think we had a good time. We were joined by cousin JP again, who seems to be quite the attention whore. Don't encourage him, people. Do not encourage him. But it was a good time, and again, appreciate everybody that did that. Congratulations to Mark for winning the $25 Amazon gift card. And hey, maybe we won't do a wheel spin next time. Maybe we'll do something else, but we'll be back again at the end of August to do another one of these things. So, on the show today, we have a guest mixologist. That's always exciting. In our tips and tricks segment, we're going to do part 2 of our series on Vegas Slots app. This week, we're going to talk about the controversial Wynn Slots app and whether you should play it. And finally, in our history segment, we're going to continue to take a look at downtown Las Vegas. And this week, we're going to talk about the Fremont block. This is probably going to be a little bit shorter show today, which I'm sure that you'll be pleased with that, unless you use the program as a kind of a drinking game, in which case you might want to check out last week's 31-minute debacle. Anyway. Okay, so let's get on with the news this week. And it was kind of a slow news week, and that's kind of a good thing. July the 31st. Right on time, we saw the completion of Allegiant Stadium, the home of the Las Vegas Raiders, who will undoubtedly play there sometime this season with no one watching. I think it's a beautiful stadium. It's another bit of interesting Vegas architecture, one you can view while you're being long-hauled back and forth from the airport. In related news that surprised no one, just a few days ago, the Garth Brooks concert, which was scheduled to christen the new stadium in about 3 weeks, was postponed until February. If you were one of the lucky ticket holders, your tickets will be honored in February, but obviously you're going to have to get time off and get to Vegas in February. So, but again, not a big surprise. I don't know how they would have put on a show there anytime in the near future. I guess the other big news story this week was what didn't happen. On Tuesday night, the governor held a briefing/press conference about the state of things in Nevada related to the COVID-19 virus and its spread and the attempt to contain that. Some had speculated that the governor might close down restaurant dining or might even consider closing down casinos. That was not to be the case. In fact, there really were no changes made substantively to what's going on in Las Vegas right now. Casinos continue to be open. Many restaurants with social distancing continue to be open. Bars, at least bar tops, not open. A few counties in Nevada, smaller counties, were allowed to reopen bars. And I think there was some encouraging notes in the governor's comments that suggested that perhaps we could see in a week or two a reopening of bars in Las Vegas. I have to say I've been a little bit surprised at how much that closure has impacted some people. And I certainly myself, very much enjoy hanging out and playing video poker at the bar. But there are some folks for whom this is a real deal breaker. They could tolerate the mask. They could tolerate some things not being open, not being able to go to shows, but not being able to hang out at the video poker bar, or maybe hang out at one of the really cool sort of mixology bars that we have in and around Las Vegas to just enjoy a quality cocktail. For a lot of people, it's like, if the bars are closed, I'm not going. So I think there's possibility that in a week or two we could see them reopen. The governor was fairly optimistic that the measures taken in previous weeks to initially close down the bars and require the wearing of masks was having an impact. We do seem to see some evidence of a plateauing in cases and a slight reduction, and hopefully that will continue. The other thing Governor said that I think was worthwhile and I think very positive, I'm not a big Governor Sisolak fan. I don't spend my time slamming the guy either. But he said basically we're not going to talk about phases anymore. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 2.5, phase 3, whatever it is. No, that's gone. We know more about what we're dealing with now. And we're not going to do these sort of blanket closures. We're not going to say, okay, everywhere in Nevada, this is what's going to happen. We're going to target our enforcement efforts at counties or cities or even neighborhoods where we see a problem. Instead of saying, okay, we're going to close down all the bars, we're saying, okay, if we go into a bar and we see social distancing not being maintained, the wearing of masks not being enforced, then, hey, we're going to target those people that aren't following the rules and we're going to close them down. It's not going to be everybody. So it's possible in weeks to come there might be places that are not doing a very good job of enforcing the rules as they exist right now that could get closed if that targeting goes into effect. But I don't think, short of a major upsurge, and I did predict this, I got something right, that we're going to see this sort of blanket closing of casinos anytime soon. I don't know if we have a Rumor Watch segment on the news program, but I guess we could start one. The rumor this week that was hot off the presses on Thursday was that the Sahara Hotel is planning to close. I can't say that would shock me. I mean, the original Sahara closed after struggling for a number of decades to draw people to that north end of the Strip. The SLS, after a promising beginning, failed to find its footing in its short lifespan. And the newly, remodeled, refurbished Sahara looks nice. Done some good things there. I don't know what the rooms look like, but decent enough place. Still has the same problems it had before. It's not where the majority of guests who are coming to Las Vegas want to stay. You're going to have to give them a really strong incentive to be there, whether it's cheap rooms or great gambling odds, and even that might not work. But, the Sahara immediately said, no, we're not closing. And we get these rumors all the time from various sources, vloggers and bloggers and so forth. And you wonder where they come from, or there's people just making this stuff up. I suspect it's mostly people somewhere in those organizations that, for their own benefit, like to sort of leak these "this could happen" kinds of things. Whether it's because there was actual discussion about, hey, we're really struggling here. I don't know if we can keep this property open or not. That kind of conversation happens in board meetings, but it doesn't necessarily mean the place is going to get closed down. And there could be people, again, within the organization either trying to encourage this to happen or discourage this from happening by leaking some, internal communications. So is the Sahara going to close anytime soon? I doubt it. I also doubt the Luxor is going to be demolished anytime soon. But are those things that could happen? Sure. If you wait long enough in Las Vegas, I think this year has proven pretty much anything can happen. So that's the news for today. And speaking of anything happening, we talked about him earlier in the show. We're giving PJ the week off, letting him rest up. He's been drinking a lot. His liver needs a break. And so we have a guest mixologist of sorts. It's cousin JP. He's put together a cocktail. He called it a tequila sunset, and I looked it up. That's already a cocktail. That isn't even a real, there's a real cocktail called the Tequila Sunset. This is not it, but I'm not going to try to edit him. I'd never hear the end of it. So maybe you call it a Topeka? A Tequila Sundown or something. But for better or worse, probably worse, let's just send it over to Cousin JP. No special intro. Just take it away. Please, take him away. Please.
Hey everybody, it's JP. I'm back from Costa Rica. Had a hell of a summer, I'll tell you that. But I'm here. And I'm here today because I'm going to make you a cocktail. This is for some cocktail of the week or something. And I did this before. But my cousin likes to make up a tequila sunrise. Well, I got a drink for you today. I call it the tequila sunset. Because after you drink one of these, the lights are going out for you. So stay tuned. We're going to show you how we put it together. Put that puppy together. All right. So this drink has 4 ingredients. Okay? On your left, you got vodka. You got a big shot of vodka there. Then right next to it, you got in the Reno shot glass. You can't tell that it's Reno here. Let me turn it around. In your Reno shot glass, you got a big shot of tequila. Right next to that, we got some pineapple juice. And behind there, you can see a little bit of grenadine. All right? So we're going to start out. We're going to put in our shot of vodka right here. All right, big shot of vodka for you right there. Okay, that's our shot of vodka. Now, we got our shot of tequila. There we go. We're going to add our shot of tequila right there. That's a pretty good amount of liquor already, ain't it? All right, now we're going to fill it up to the top of the glass with some pineapple juice. So, I'm going to fill it up. Pineapple juice. Just about all the way to the top. And in fact, it'll take the whole can. 6 ounces. Perfect. How do you do that? You're talented. Okay. So we're going to take our spoon here. We're just going to mix it up good. Mix that together. It is a good cocktail, I'll tell you what. And then we're going to just drizzle a bit of this here grenadine stuff. I like grenadine. And I'm just going to drizzle just a little bit of it along the top here. Like that. And it creates that tequila sunset effect that I enjoy so much. So there you go. I call it a tequila sunset. And come back just a second. I'm going to try it for you. All right. JP back here. I got my tequila sunset. Simple cocktail. Just get you some vodka, get you some tequila, add your little pineapple juice. You sprinkle that little grenadine at the top. Gives it that little sunset effect. So let's give it a try, shall we? Ooh, that's a strong drink and a mighty good drink. I tell you, you don't want to give my cousin PJ a drink like this. He couldn't handle it. But I'm going to take this out. I'm going to enjoy this. You should make one of these at home, because I think you'll enjoy it too. So, all right. Let that ugly guy finish the show now. Okay. I guess that don't encourage him. You know, he's probably going to come back. But so I tried this concoction of his. It's a little rough. Not bad. If any of you decide to mix up one of these tequila somethings, let me know what you think in the comments. I know what I think. Okay, so today in our Vegas tip or trick segment, we're going to do part 2 of our series on Vegas Slots app. And today we're going to talk about the Wynn Slots app. Now, when the Wynn Slots app came out and people started doing the sort of research and analysis on this, and I'll put a link again to my friend Eric, Ace of Vegas, if you want to learn more about all these casino games and how to play them and how to get the most for your money. And in the case of the Wynn app, it is money. But it wasn't always that way. You could get a lot of different things if you played the My Vegas app. You could get
monorail tickets. You could get drink credits. You could get free play. You could get helicopter rides. You could go to shows. Well, nope. Wynn Slots app, when it first came out, and pretty much still to this day, is all about the rooms. It's all about getting free rooms at one of the nicest properties anywhere in Las Vegas. Well, anywhere. And for much of its existence, you could pretty easily do that without spending a dime. You didn't even have to pay a resort fee, which you did if you still do if you book a room on MyVegas. Not even a resort fee. Now, you didn't get Wi-Fi or any of the resort fee perks, which you quickly discovered weren't that important anyway. But it was a great deal. It could take some time. It takes a while to accumulate the number of gems you need to get a room. We'll flash up a picture on the screen here of, I think this is the August or September room calendar, to give you an idea of how many gems it takes to purchase a room. Here you go. So as you can see, I mean, they range from, 1,800 or so, 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes even 6,000 gems. Generally speaking, you can kind of do the math. If something says it's 2,000 gems, then that's about the equivalent of a $200 a night stay. So originally, as I say, if you accumulate enough of these gems, you could stay there for 4 nights in a row. And it didn't cost you a dime. Now, again, it costs you some time because it takes a while to earn these gems. After you've played a while, it ends up taking like 20, 30 million coins run through the system, much in the same way you'd run dollars through a slot machine. It doesn't necessarily, again, mean you would lose that, but you would have to play that much. So it takes a while, but that's amazing. And apparently it got to be a little too amazing. Apparently, Wynn started taking a look at this and was like, there goes the neighborhood. I mean, I'm sure they said that after they first saw me. So they started making it more difficult. They started making it to where you had to spend a little bit of money to earn what are called VIP points. And so right now, in order to book a room, you have to have earned within a 90-day period 20,000 VIP points. And there's no way to do that for free. In fact, probably about the most you're going to earn for free if you're really diligent about the other ways you can get these VIP points, which you can collect these wheel bonuses. You can complete certain scratcher tasks. But no matter how diligent you are, you're not going to get more than about 2,000 of these points. So in order to be able to book a room, you'd have to spend within that 90-day earning period somewhere between like $180 and $200. So that's far from free. And that's all you can get right now. Now, shortly before the whole COVID thing broke out, Wynn added a second bonus, which was that you could get a free buffet. It would cost you 1,200 gems, which, 2 of you go to the buffet, that's 2,400 gems, plus, you leave a gratuity and so forth. It's like, wow, I could get a room for less than 2,400 gems. So it wasn't a particularly good value, but it was a way for people who didn't necessarily have a lot of gems or couldn't afford to buy the necessary VIP points. And a lot of people took advantage of that. In fact, again, there were huge lines. It was, again, probably too popular. Well, the buffet is not available right now. Obviously, it closed down. It reopened in a slightly different form. And so all you can get is rooms right now. And the only way you're going to be able to book a room is to spend somewhere between $180 and $200. That would give you the option to book 2 consecutive nights. Doesn't sound like a very good deal, but you have to put it in a little bit of context. You could book those rooms on Friday and Saturday night, the 2 busiest nights of the week in Las Vegas. Now, I myself, have a decent gambling history with some of the, casino companies on the Strip. And so there are properties that I could stay at, probably for free on a Friday and Saturday night, but I'd have to pay the resort fee, which would end up costing me $40 to $50 a night just to stay in the most basic accommodations in the city. Now, if you don't have those comp connections at one of those properties, you might spend $100 a night plus $50 for the resort fee, compared to spending essentially $100 a night to stay at the Wynn, one of the nicest properties in Las Vegas. So is it worth it? Well, it's only worth it if you're willing to spend some money, and it's only worth it if you have the time to play the game, if you enjoy playing the game. I actually like playing some of the games, even though they're all sort of imaginary. A lot of them are very similar to real Las Vegas slot games. But just keep that in mind. If you want to take advantage of it, you're gonna have to spend some money, probably around $200. And for that, you're going to get a great deal on a hotel room, but it's not going to be free anymore. So we'll flash up another little screenshot that shows you the different reward levels you can spend. I think it costs you like $400 to where you can book 3 nights, and even beyond that, I don't know what that is, $600, $800, where you can book 4 nights. And there's also discounts on the gyms that you spend, and you have more buffets available. Again, as you can see in this visual. So anyway, that's the Wynn Slots app. I still play it, and I do plan on taking advantage of the rooms at some point, whether it be on this trip in October. Definitely a possibility there. So Wynn Slots. Next week, we'll talk about the Four Queens and the Binions app. They're almost identical, and they're operated by the same company that owns both of those properties. So we'll cover some of the things you can get there. Okay, so this week in Vegas history, we're going to talk about what I call the Fremont block. Of course, every block of Fremont Street is the Fremont block, but this is the block that is the site of the Fremont Hotel and Casino. It has been there for some time, but there were things there before that. There was a Wimpy's Drive-In on that block. Anybody hang out at the Wimpy's Drive-In back in the day? Probably getting a little long in the tooth? Let us know. There was the Chamber of Commerce was on that site. There was a general merchandise store. There was a theater there on the east end of that block, which was actually there until the mid-70s, called the Fremont Theater. You could see a movie right there on that block. But what you're really interested in probably is the Fremont Hotels. We'll talk briefly about its history. We did talk about the Fremont, I think, in one of our hotel profiles, so this won't be a really long segment. It was built and opened in 1956 as the tallest building in the state of Nevada. It held that distinction for 5 years until the Dunes surpassed it. It expanded in 1963, added another hotel tower, 14-story hotel tower, towards the Ogden Street end. In 1974, it was acquired by Alan Glick. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If anybody is familiar with the movie Casino, and the story told in it is really about Alan Glick. And so the Fremont was involved in some skimming activities in the 1970s. It was also involved in a major expansion in 1976. It expanded the casino east into what was the site of the Fremont Theater to the configuration that we see now. The property in 1983 was acquired by Sam Boyd. It continues to be owned by Boyd Gaming. It has not changed much in recent years. The most recent renovations of any kind were in the mid-2000s. There was speculation a year or two ago that there would be an additional hotel tower built basically to the 3rd and Ogden side of the property. But whether that was simply idle speculation and or whether it was preempted by some other developments downtown or by the developments we've seen in the economy over the past 6 months is not known, but that is speculated. It really is that was the first sort of high-rise hotel tower downtown. And of all the casinos downtown, really one of the earliest, El Cortez would have been around, would have been about the same time that the casino went in at the Golden Gate. Binion's would have been around, and Golden Nugget would have been around. But it's a pretty big time property, and continues to be a very, very busy place. So that's the story of the Fremont block of downtown Las Vegas. We'll continue our look at downtown Vegas history and development on next week's show. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for this week. Thanks again for watching. Thanks to JP, I guess. And thanks again. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hey, hit that subscribe button. Absolutely free. Makes me feel happy. Like this, comment on it. I respond pretty much to everybody's comments unless I can't understand it or it's just gibberish. So if you write just gibberish, I won't respond to that. But anyway, until next Saturday, I hope that you have a great and lucky week and a healthy week, and we will see you soon.